Hello everyone, Ponzi here. Today we're turning this Nolzurs miniatures from D&D into Markus Kruber from Vermintide. The idea here is to remove the head and the instrument from the bard, which I'm clipping off in the background. I've also marked here, these are the bits that I'm removing, just for a bit more clarity. I'm keeping the bedroll because I think it's quite a decent part, even though you don't really see it in Vermintide. So I found this halberd from my bits box. I presume it's from the halberdiers. After making sure it's the right size, I snip off the arms as we won't be needing them. And just doing a little dry test fit to see how it would look. Here I am just scraping off some of the remnants of the hand. There are heads that definitely look very similar to Markus Kruber. This one just had a moustache and not a beard, and it happened to be the only one I had left over. So if you do have if you can get your hands on a head that's got the beard already, go for that one. Unfortunately, having to use super glue here, as Nolzurs stuff is predominantly PVC. After the head was stuck, I started working on the halberd. It wasn't quite adhering to the hand, so I got some more super glue on it. If you have a brush on super glue, this is the best time to use it. Unfortunately, I didn't have any. This piece was being very stubborn, it wasn't wanting to stick, and if it was only partially sticking. I tried taking super glue from the surrounding areas and eventually that worked quite well. I was just testing how strong the bond was here. After letting that completely set, I got some green stuff, only a small bit. This was way too much for what I needed, but I find it's easier to have a big bit that you can work with. So using water again to try and stop it sticking to my fingers, and trying to get out any cured bits from the middle, because the problem with green stuff is in the roll itself the green and the blue are touching, so sometimes you'll have partially cured bits, so you want to try and get them out. After giving it a good mix, I'm ready to start making the beard. Continuously removing more and more material because I realise I don't need much at all. And once I stick it on there, get some more water and use my little sculpting tool. Make sure it's wet so it doesn't stick to the tool itself, and just slowly start scraping in a downward fashion. There's a lot of tutorials on how to do like fur and beards. It's probably one of the most simplest things you can do with sculpting. As long as you have a sort of rough texture, it's going to look like a beard once you paint it up anyway. And this is the feather that I have for the hat. It was a bit too tall for what I wanted, so I cut away and then I glued it with timing extra thin, purely because these are both made by GW, so plastic glue works on them. Unfortunately, I didn't have the camera set up quite well here, but all I'm doing is I sculpted a little moustache on my fingernail and then I glued it on, and it looked a bit like this on the right hand side, and once it was all primed it looked like this. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like,